January 10, 2025 dawned like any other day in California. The early morning light painted the sky in hues of pink and gold, a serene start to what would soon become a day of chaos and destruction. The sun, a promise of warmth in the winter air, rose over a state known for its golden landscapes. It was a sight that brought comfort to many, a reminder of the beauty and tranquility that California could offer. But as the hours passed, a familiar terror returned. The sky, once clear and bright, began to darken with ominous clouds signaling the approach of something dreadful. Wildfires, fueled by dry conditions and driven by fierce winds, erupted across the region. The flames spread rapidly, consuming everything in their path with a ferocity that was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. From the outskirts of Los Angeles to the suburban sprawl, flames devoured acres of land, turning neighborhoods into scenes of unimaginable destruction. Homes that once stood as safe havens were now reduced to smoldering ruins. The air, once clear and crisp, grew thick with smoke, a choking haze that blotted out the sun and cast an eerie orange glow over the terrified landscape. The once vibrant skies were now a grim reminder of the devastation below. The familiar smell of burning wood and brush, a scent all too familiar to Californians, permeated the air, a constant reminder of the inferno raging out of control. It was a scent that brought with it memories of past fires, of loss and resilience. Panic spread as quickly as the flames, forcing residents to flee their homes with nothing but the clothes on their backs. Families were torn apart in the chaos, their lives forever changed by the relentless advance of the fire. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the ravaged landscape, the full extent of the disaster was becoming horrifyingly clear. The once lush and vibrant terrain was now a charred wasteland, a stark contrast to the morning's beauty. The wildfires, relentless in their fury, had left a trail of destruction in their wake, claiming lives, homes, and livelihoods. The aftermath was a sobering reminder of nature's power and the fragility of human existence. The once familiar landscape was now scarred and alien, a testament to the devastating power of nature's wrath. The resilience of the people, however, shone through the ashes, as they began the long and arduous process of rebuilding their lives and their communities. The immediate aftermath of the January 10th fires painted a grim picture of loss and devastation. 10 souls perished in the inferno, their lives tragically cut short by the unrelenting flames. The fires, indiscriminate in their path, claimed the lives of young and old, leaving behind a community grappling with grief and loss. Each life lost represented a universe of relationships shattered, dreams unfulfilled, and futures extinguished. Over 34,000 acres of land were consumed by the flames, an area larger than many cities. Homes, businesses, schools, and parks, once symbols of community and life, were reduced to smoldering rubble. The fires, moving with a speed and ferocity that defied comprehension, left no time for sentiment, no time for goodbyes. The economic impact of the fires was staggering, with nearly 10,000 homes and businesses destroyed. The cost of rebuilding, both in terms of infrastructure and lives, would be immeasurable. Beyond the immediate damage, the fires left behind a legacy of displacement and economic hardship as families struggled to rebuild their lives from the ashes. While California is no stranger to wildfires, the blazes of January 10, 2025, were particularly ferocious, fueled by a combination of dry conditions and the infamous Santa Ana winds. These winds, originating in the Great Basin and Mojave Desert, sweep down from the mountains and through the canyons, gaining speed and heat as they descend. They are a natural phenomenon, a part of California's complex weather patterns, but their presence often spells danger. The Santa Ana winds, with gusts reaching up to 100 miles per hour, acted like a giant bellows, pushing the flames across the dry landscape at an alarming rate. The winds scattered embers far and wide, creating new spot fires that quickly grew into raging infernos, overwhelming even the most valiant firefighting efforts. The dry vegetation, parched by months of below-average rainfall, provided ample fuel for the flames. Years of drought, exacerbated by climate change, had turned California's once lush landscapes into tinderboxes, primed for ignition. This combination of dry fuels and powerful winds created a perfect storm for wildfire disaster, a scenario that played out with terrifying consequences on January 10th. Section 4. A fiery battlefield, firefighters on the front lines. As the fires raged, firefighters from across California and beyond rushed to the front lines, battling not only the flames but also exhaustion, danger, and a sense of overwhelming odds. These brave individuals, often volunteers, left their families and homes behind, driven by a sense of duty and a commitment to protect their communities. They knew the risks, yet they charged forward, armed with hoses, shovels, and sheer determination. They worked tirelessly day and night, facing walls of fire, choking smoke, and the constant threat of shifting winds. The relentless heat and the ever-present danger of falling debris made every moment a test of endurance and courage. Each firefighter knew that a single misstep could be fatal, yet they pressed on, driven by the hope of saving lives and property. Their courage and dedication, often in the face of unimaginable danger, saved countless lives and homes. Stories of heroism emerged, with firefighters rescuing trapped residents and pets, often at great personal risk. Their actions were not just about fighting fire, they were about preserving the very fabric of the communities they served. Helicopters and airplanes, transformed into aerial firefighters, battled the blaze from above, dropping water and fire retardant in a desperate attempt to slow the flames' advance. These aerial efforts were coordinated with ground teams, creating a multifaceted approach to combat the inferno. Pilots navigated through thick smoke and turbulent winds, showcasing incredible skill and bravery. On the ground, firefighters used bulldozers to create fire breaks, clearing vegetation in the hope of starving the fire of fuel. These fire breaks were crucial in slowing the fire's progress, giving firefighters a fighting chance to contain the blaze. The work was grueling and dangerous, often requiring firefighters to operate heavy machinery in treacherous conditions. But the fires, driven by the relentless Santa Ana winds, often jumped these barriers, outpacing even the most determined efforts to contain them. The winds could change direction in an instant, turning a controlled situation into chaos. Firefighters had to constantly adapt, making split-second decisions to protect lives and property. The January 10th fires tested the limits of firefighting technology and human endurance. Advanced tools and techniques were deployed, from thermal imaging cameras to drones, providing critical information to ground teams. Despite these technological advancements, the sheer scale and intensity of the fires pushed everyone to their limits. The sheer scale of the disaster, coupled with the speed and intensity of the flames, created challenges that few could have anticipated. Entire landscapes were transformed into fiery wastelands, and the smoke could be seen from miles away. Communities banded together, offering support to the firefighters and each other, showcasing the resilience and solidarity in the face of disaster. Yet despite the overwhelming odds, these brave men and women continued to fight, risking their lives to protect their communities from the inferno. Their unwavering spirit and determination were a beacon of hope, reminding us all of the incredible strength and resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. Section 5. Echoes of the Past. California's troubled history with fire. The January 10th wildfires, while shocking in their intensity, are unfortunately part of a larger and increasingly alarming trend in California. These fires have become a symbol of the state's ongoing struggle with nature's fury, a struggle that has deep historical roots and modern-day implications. The state has a long and troubled history with wildfires, and in recent years these events have become more frequent, more intense, and more destructive. From the early days of settlement, when fires were used to clear land, to the present day, where they rage uncontrollably, wildfires have always been a part of California's story. The reasons for this increase in wildfire activity are complex, but there is a growing consensus that climate change is playing a significant role. Scientists point to a combination of factors, including rising temperatures, prolonged droughts, and changing precipitation patterns, all of which contribute to the perfect conditions for wildfires to ignite and spread. Warmer temperatures, drier conditions, and longer fire seasons have created a dangerous new normal in California. The state's unique geography, with its mix of forests, grasslands, and urban areas, makes it particularly vulnerable to these changes. As the climate continues to warm, the risk of devastating wildfires is expected to increase. The state's forests, once resilient ecosystems, are now stressed and vulnerable, more susceptible to both drought and fire. These forests, which provide critical habitat for wildlife and help regulate the climate, are now at risk of being permanently altered or destroyed. The wildfires of January 10th, while tragic, serve as a stark reminder of the increasing threat that climate change poses to California and other fire-prone regions around the world. The aftermath of these fires is a sobering sight, with charred landscapes and destroyed homes standing as a testament to the destructive power of nature. As California grapples with the aftermath of the January 10th fires, it is clear that the state must adopt a more proactive approach to wildfire management. This includes not only immediate response efforts but also long-term strategies to mitigate the risk of future fires. This includes reducing fuel loads through controlled burns, a practice that can help prevent larger, more destructive fires by removing excess vegetation that can serve as fuel. Investing in fire-resistant building materials is another crucial step. Homes and structures built with these materials are better able to withstand the intense heat and flames of a wildfire, reducing the risk of loss and damage. Creating more defensible space around homes and communities is also essential. This involves clearing vegetation and other flammable materials from around buildings, creating a buffer zone that can help slow the spread of a fire and provide firefighters with a safer area to work. It also requires addressing the root causes of climate change, a challenge that demands urgent action from governments, businesses, and individuals alike. By working together to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and promote sustainable practices, we can help mitigate the impacts of climate change and reduce the risk of future wildfires.